Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play Splendor Duel. It's ages 10 and up, 2-player, and it takes 30 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is to be the first to get to 20 points, 10 crowns, or 10 points in the same color. And you do that by selecting gems and using them to purchase these cards. And I'll show you how all of that works. For game setup, you have level 1 cards, level 2, and level 3, and you're going to create a pyramid of those with 5 level 1 at the bottom, then 4 level 2, 3 level 3. For your board with the gems and the golden pearls, you have a black bag that all of those come in, and you place them out starting with the center, and then it goes in a spiral, and that is the order that you fill in your grid. You make sure these are bonus points. We'll cover those here in a minute, but just to get up and running, you decide who's going to go first. We'll say it's this player. The other player is given one of these scrolls, and I'll show you what these scrolls do in a minute. They're very simple. It's basically a free choice thing, and so this player gets to go first, and all you do on your turn is you have 3 different choices for what you do. You must either take up to 3 tokens. You can take 1 gold token and reserve one of these jewel cards, or you can purchase a jewel card on your turn. Clearly, they do not have any tokens yet, so they're going to select a few. And the rule is they have to be all in a row, and they either need to be, you can do diagonal, vertical, horizontal, but they have to be connected. So they're going to take these 3. The pearl is a new addition from original Splendor, and there's not anything special about the pearl tokens, except there are only 2 of them, and they appear on a number of these cards. So you need them a lot of the time, and they're never the bonus token on the bonus jewel on any of the cards you collect. You only are able to get them from here. So pearls are key for this game. Then it's the next person's turn, and they get to take their turn. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to take 3. They're going to take these 3. So a couple things for gem selection. If on the bottom, there's a little info on the bottom of the board here. If you took 3 of the same color, if there were 3 blue in a row here and that's what they wanted, if they take these 3, then the other person would get to have a scroll. Or if you take 2 pearls in the same turn. So if this person had taken this, this, and this on their turn, this had been the order, then the other person would have gotten a scroll. And then the only other way to get a scroll is if eventually the board runs out. As you buy things, the tokens go back in the bag, the board runs out, and so whoever decides to refill the board on their turn, and then they get to select tokens again, the other person gets a scroll. And it's also a bonus on one of the cards. We'll cover the bonuses in a second. So this person, it was like this. They took these. Now it's back to this person's turn. Say they're going for this one. You don't always have to select 3 tokens on your turn. They have to be in a line, but it's completely okay for them to just take these 2 tokens. They're allowed to even just take 1 token. Usually that's not ideal, but you can if you want. So they're going to take just these 2. This person, if you want to use a scroll, you have to use it before you perform your standard actions like selecting tokens or reserving or buying a card. So if they wanted to use this, you cannot use it on a gold. The golds are wild. Clearly, they're the best. You can't use it on a gold, but you could use it on a pearl. So we'll say they just, they use it on one of these, and then they collect these 3. There is a max of 10 jewels that you can have in your hand at the end of a turn. So they have, usually, it's good to be organized. You should have them stacked by color. That helps quite a bit. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they had 10 already, they're still allowed to take more of the jewels, but then they'd have to discard some back into the bag at the end of their turn because you can't end a turn with more than 10 jewels. Now it's back to this player, so I'm going to show what you do if they choose to purchase a card. So you don't get to select tokens and purchase a card on the same turn. You get to pick one. So they're going to pick to purchase this one. They have 2 black, 2 white, and a pearl. So they take them all that they're using to buy this and they put them back in the black bag and take the card and put it in front of them. They now have a ruby that they get to use for future purchases. So they get to now, instead if they purchase this card, they only need to have a green, blue, and white. They don't have to have the red. That is free to them. So it gets nicer and nicer as you go along. You have more and more of these, and they help it so you can buy these big ticket cards at the end. This one has a special bonus on the card. It doesn't have any points on the card. It has a bonus. There are a few different bonuses in the game. They're pretty straightforward. This is you just get another turn right after this one. So they could select another 3 items. They could do any of their standard moves for a turn, but you have to do it. You have to take your extra turn. The other cards, this one that has kind of, looks like a picture of a standard gem on there. If you buy this card, you get a bonus one of these. So if they bought this card, you'd get to take a bonus that matches the colored gem on the card. If it's available out here on the board, then you get it. The card with a scroll on it, you get one of the scrolls if you purchase this card. And then finally, the trickiest one to kind of get used to the first time you play is this wild card bonus. And don't worry about the crown for now. This is a very nice card. It has a couple things on it. The wild, when you get that, you have to place it on another card that has a bonus on it. So if they had this card and this card in front of them, they couldn't place it here and make it match the black gem. They would have to place it on one that already has a bonus. Then this card, now it counts as 2 red gems. You do not get the bonus. You just have to place it on a card with a bonus and it matches the gem. So it can be nice if you have a few of these in front of you. You can choose then, oh, do I want this to be an extra red or I do want this to be an extra black? You have some options there and some choice, which is really helpful. And if so these are very nice. All right, and I'll show the crowns here in a second. But they get to take a bonus turn. They're going to choose to reserve something. So it's the end of the turn. So this gets filled in. Now they get to, we're going to have them choose to reserve something to show what that looks like. That's the only way to get the gold, is if you reserve a card. So you can reserve any of the cards you want, even the ones up here. And we'll have them reserve the special token because they're excited about it. When you reserve a card, you get the gold in front of you right away, and you're supposed to place this card face down beside you, and it's up to them if they remember what was on the card or not, and you have it face down beside you. That's your whole turn. The turn is over, and the rule is you can only reserve up to 3 cards, and there has to be a gold token out here in order to reserve a card. There's a lot more reserving of cards that seems to happen in Splendor Duel than there was in regular Splendor, so it is not uncommon to max out on your reserved cards. And if you still have reserved cards at the end of the game and you haven't purchased them, there is no penalty for that. Now I'm going to show what refilling the board looks like. So we're kind of just going to skip ahead. We're going to say that with these tokens, a couple more turns had passed. We'll say they definitely had the right things to buy this, and this person was able to buy this, and so they used up a fair amount of these, and we're at the point where I think it was like that. We're at the point where we'll say this person has decided, okay, I want to refill the board for the beginning of my turn. What you do, if you decide you want to do that, is the other player gets a scroll in front of them, and then you just take these and you start from the center and you refill going around in the pattern, and if there's things already there, you just keep on going over them and keep going until, and you don't have to be out of tokens in order to refill. You can have a bunch of tokens in front of you, you can have a bunch of gems in front of you. It's just whenever you think it is advantageous or you would like to refill the board, you can do that, because sometimes you refill it, and if they still had a few over here, then they could still refill it and it would just look like this at the end. So we'll go ahead and say it was like that. Then after refilling the board, that's not your turn. It's really pretty nice, because then you get first choice on what is out here, and we'll say that they take these, and that's it for their turn. It's this person's turn, and they can choose to first use this, or they can wait. You can wait on this as long as you want. But it's usually nice to be strategic and make sure you make good use of those. That's how you win the game. The only other thing to cover is these crowns. The crowns are your bonus points, and when you get them, if they were able to purchase this card, once you have 3 crowns in front of you, so it gets to the point of the game that one of the people has these crowns in front of them. We'll say that worked out for this guy. Much later, because this is a few turns. Once you have 3 crowns, these have at the bottom, they have 3 crowns and then 6 crowns, which looks kind of funny. All that means is that 3 crowns, you get to pick any one of these that is still available. And you say, okay, I want to have, if this person got 3 crowns, we'll say they pick this one. It's worth 2 points to their end total points. And they get this action, which is this allows them to steal an item from the other person. You cannot steal gold, but you can take the pearl. So they're going to steal the pearl. And selecting this isn't an action on your turn. It's just once you have 3 crowns, you get to pick one of them and perform the action. Then once you have 6 crowns, you get to pick one again. So you can choose to pick one of the 2 pointers that have an action, or if you're just going for points, you can take the 3 pointer once you get to 6 crowns in front of you. And it can be, there are some of these cards have double crowns on them, especially in the higher point value. This has double crowns. That can be really great. And also some of the cards do have double jewels on them. So be on the lookout for that, where sometimes there's a double, a bonus where this one has 2 diamonds on it. And so if you have that, it counts as 2 diamonds towards the purchase of another card. So those are all the different game elements. There are a few different ways to win, and we do find that you can win each of these different ways. We've played a bunch and we've won all 3 ways. And just manage your strategy, manage your collection of cards, and see which way is your path to victory. So that's how you play Splendor Duel. The target demographic for this game is Splendor fans who want just a little bit more out of their game. The rule complexity is medium. There's a little bit more going on, nothing overly tricky, but I'd say the first time you play, it takes one playthrough to really handle all of the aspects of the game, the new things that have been added in. They aren't tricky, it just takes one time to figure out how it all works together. and then you have it down. How competitive is this game? I'd say medium. It's definitely a little bit more competitive than regular Splendor. There's more player interaction and choices that you're making that are impacting your opponent, but it's not anything too cutthroat. I still felt whenever I played this that I'm able to go and try to do collect the cards that I'm trying to collect, pursue my strategy without the other player messing with me too much, but there is some player interaction. You can make some choices that impact what happens with the other person and the decisions that they're making, but it's at a really nice level, so it makes it interesting without being too cutthroat. The replay value is high. This game's very popular. We love it, and it might have ruined regular Splendor for me a bit because it's just so much more fun to play for me. Similar games, if you like this one, Seven Wonders Duel did kind of a similar thing for Seven Wonders is a very popular game, and then the Duel version is a slightly perhaps more strategic version that's very popular, so you should check that out. And Sagrada is a great game that actually plays up to 4 players, but it's a game in which you are trying to make the highest scoring stained glass window out of these colorful dice that you're playing with. And it works great at really any player count, even 2, and it's a nice level of strategy, sort of similar to this. But we are just loving Splendor Duel. It is fantastic, and you should definitely check it out. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.